All right, hello everybody, and thank you very much for watching another episode of Facebook and YouTube Live. And Superintendent Toscano is not in this edition because it's a very special edition. We're doing athletics, and so we'll be talking about that. My name is Brandon Oliver. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications, and we're on location here at the beautiful Performing Arts Center on the East Central High School campus. But I got two very special, important guests with me that'll be joining us. And we have Athletic Director Suzette Arriola and Head Football Coach Joe Hubbard. How are y'all doing?
We're doing well, trying to stay dry.
Yeah, I mean, do you know, before we dive into the harder questions, do you know if the rain's going to keep going on and possibly rain on the football game next week?
Trust me, there's not going to be enough rain to keep us off that football field next week.
Right. All right, good. All right, so just want to let people know, and already a lot of people are already tuning in. I just want to let people know we have a lot of pre-formatted questions to go through first, and then we'll end it with a question and answer. But please wait, number one, because we want to get to your questions, and number two, we might actually ask your question before we get to it. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started with the first question. Are athletes expected to attend practice during virtual learning?
Well, we're going to encourage our athletes to attend practice every time they can. But of course, there's some circumstances that we're working with right now. And so kids are not going to be punished for missing practice. All we're asking is that they continue to communicate with their coaching staff and let us know what's going on. And maybe we can create some workouts at different times for them to get in the weight room. But right now we are being very flexible and giving a lot of grace out. So we're working with our kids and our families. And I know the football team has 300 of them to deal with. So I'm going to let Joe kind of also touch base on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Our kids are showing up. We have workouts every day. And for the most part, our kids have done a really good job of communicating with us. Sometimes, we have to pick kids up and different things in order to help get them to practice. But by and large, we've seen most of our kids throughout the last 2 or 3 weeks. And so they're doing a really good job with it.
All right. Thank you all very much. Next question. Who is responsible for transporting athletes to and from practice?
Well, that would be their parents. And I know right now I would have to say we're at about 90% of our kids at practice. Of course, we do have a handful of situations that we're working with. We are in the middle of creating a transportation plan and hoping to have that set out here this week because we know some families have both parents working and kids that are remote have a difficult time getting to school. And so what we're looking to do is to pick about 4 or 5 points within the district where we will send a bus out and have a pickup and drop off point for those kids. So right now, all of our programs, it's just not football and volleyball. We're talking about all of our off seasons that are also working in the mornings and the afternoons. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have that plan put together and our buses will be deployed out to pick up kids and then drop them back off at their drop off points.
All right. So I know we get this question a lot on Facebook. Will our athletes be screened for COVID?
Unfortunately, right now, we don't, we screen. They have to fill out a screener every single week where they let us know, obviously, if they've been around anyone with COVID or have symptoms. And so we're checking out those things weekly to make sure and ensure safety, for all of our student athletes.
And that's on top of the daily screener that everyone has to do for school. So everyone has to do a daily screener when they step on campus. Even to include the kids that are remote when they come. But on top of that, we also have the athletic screener that they also have to do at least once a week.
So keeping on the same train of COVID here, what will happen if a student athlete tests positive for COVID?
Well, we've got, I think you have I sent you, did you see that flow chart I sent you, Brandon? I don't know if you want to pop it up.
Yes, hold on just a second. I gotta get to it, but yeah, you can keep talking though.
I'm gonna talk about it though.
Yeah.
So our head trainer Ed Champagne and our district nurse, we have a plan together. And so anytime there's a kid that either has either tested and is letting us know that they've had to go to have a test done, or they've had someone in their family that has tested, we definitely have a plan, which you'll show in just a second here with that flow chart, if you can find it, of how we report that. Everything first goes to Mr. Champagne, and from Mr. Champagne to the nurse. We record that. We follow the protocols of the CDC and what our school mitigation plan is, and we'll case by case, of course, with each kid and their family, and all the proper phone calls are also made.
Yes, I'm still looking for it. For some reason, I went to one screen and it's kind of combined everything into one. But I do know exactly what you're talking about. Maybe I could just bring it up this way. Let's try this. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got it right there.
Yeah. And so what we did is, because there's just so many different ways this works. So what we did is we created a flow chart that every coach has. And what we've asked them to do is they take a picture of this, and it's right there in their favorites. So if a kid ever walked up to them and had a conversation with them, everything they need to know or how to react is on this flow chart. They can pull it up off their phone. So even if they're in the middle of a practice and a kid were to walk up and say, "Hey, coach, last night my mom wasn't feeling well and they took her in to test her for COVID or something like that," that coach can pull out his phone, pull up this flow chart, and direct that child exactly where to go. So we feel really good about this plan that we've created and how to use it, so that it's easier to read and easier for our coaches to follow the flow chart.
All right. And I think there's another page on this communication chain if you want to go over that one.
Yeah. Got to have these things, right? The cheaters. But
I hear you.
Yeah, I know. The communication part of that is just, again, it's talking about who the coach is that's being notified of either a close contact or a positive COVID test. They contact right away that whoever that coach is will let Coach Hubbard know from the boys' side as the coordinator for the boys' side, or Coach Willem from the girls' side, and then is what let me know. So then we go into a protocol with Mr. Champagne and the district nurse, and then the flow chart that you showed first, all those steps come in place. It just depends on whether it was a close contact, someone's being tested, if someone in the family is asymptomatic. There's different symptoms and different categories that we will follow through this flow chart. But it's all there for our coaches at their fingertips so that we can navigate any issues as quickly as possible.
All right. So this leads to the next question. Do athletes have to wear masks?
Absolutely. 100% of the time, as far as when they are actually on the field, on the playing field or playing court, they will not have to wear their mask. But any other time, if they're on the sideline, if they are at school, we are requiring them to have their masks and wear them at all times. And so it is really important in order to help us mitigate risks for them to have it on.
To the point where, just from them going from the field house and the transition and onto the campus anywhere, Principal Shane McKay and his staff have done a fabulous job, and they are Johnny on the spot. When it comes to masks, they can tell you, they can spot that 30 yards away if a kid doesn't have a mask on.
Yes, that is true.
They are doing a fabulous job on that campus. And so we're trying to do our part, and we are every day, and we have signs up everywhere, but we're also just keep repeating to our kids, wear your mask. At the end of the day, the kids are the ones that want to play, right? More than anybody else. And so we've got to do our part. If we want to stay healthy, we have to wear our mask. And that is a message daily that we are constantly repeating to our kids. Wear your mask, be the example, right? We're the athletes. We're the ones people look up to. Be the example, wear your mask. Everybody will follow you. That will just help us as a family, as an EC family, if we're all following the protocols.
Absolutely. And talking about protocols, what measures are in place to disinfect equipment and things of that nature?
Well, our custodial staff has been absolutely wonderful in helping us with that, and so is our maintenance department. The district has purchased some e-mist machines, so I'll talk a little bit about the girls' side, and then, of course, everybody wants to know what's happening in the boys' football locker room, just because they have the most athletes in one place. But every morning, someone comes into the locker rooms as well as this office and wipes down everything. They will e-mist in between classes in the locker room. They spray the gyms. The balls are always constantly being sprayed or wiped. Anywhere the kids are is being disinfected in between classes. We had our first home volleyball game here on Saturday, and it went very smoothly. I was very proud of our office staff and the way they had that set up. So everyone is having to exit the gym after every game. And they did that. Everyone was very cooperative on Saturday after the freshman game. Everyone had to exit out of a certain exit door. They came in, custodial came in, and we e-missed that whole gym and had it sanitized in a matter of about 7 or 8 minutes. So they were able to walk outside, turn around, and come back in. And so it was less than 10 minutes that we had that gym cleaned and ready for the next game. And while the custodials are cleaning the stands and getting that all wiped down, the coaching staff is helping us to keep the benches and all the balls sanitized.
So going back to the mask for just a second, well, coaches and athletic trainers, they'll need to wear masks, correct?
Absolutely. You'll find that on the athletic fields and courts, our coaches are wearing masks as well. And to piggyback what Suzette was talking about with spraying, our custodial staff is doing an outstanding job, and our coaches as well. Matter of fact, it looks like Ghostbusters in that football field house every evening when I'm watching those coaches, and they're spraying lockers down, spraying equipment down. And it's just very important that everyone is on board with doing our part in order to help keep the kids and the adults safe.
So, Brandon, I'd like to show. So the district was very gracious. They've bought us 2 sets of masks. So they bought us some regular masks here that we started when we started strength and conditioning over the summer. Back when this first started happening during spring break, Miss Burns and I got together and we ordered a mask for all the kids when we started strength and conditioning. But as we were getting ready to come into school and knew a little bit more about what was going to happen, then the district was also gracious enough to buy every student athlete. These are one of those gaiters, one of those neck pull-ups, which becomes a lot easier than having to take this off and then put it around your wrist and hold it. So all of our middle school athletes and all of our high school athletes in season and out of season have one of these, just easier to pull off and on. And what UIL says basically is while you're in activity, you do not need to have a mask on. While you're standing still on the sidelines waiting for drills or something like that, then the mask must be put up. If you're on the bench for volleyball, mask must be on. If you're on the court, you do not have to wear a mask. Now, some school districts are viewing that a little differently, and some of them make them wear a mask while they're also competing. Right now, we've decided the safest way for our kids right now is just to have that mask on when they are not in activity.
All right, and I do want to follow up on that one. We got a comment here that I think kind of pertains to it. We're talking obviously high school, but do these protocols pertain to the middle school athletes as well?
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is what I just said. All the policies we've created are for middle school and high school. Our middle school coordinators at both Heritage and Legacy have been in our planning meetings while we create these plans. We're in a little bit of a delay with middle school because 5 of our middle schools, which are in the Judson ISD, are just getting ready to start school. They haven't even started face-to-face yet. And so middle school will start that first week of October for competition.
Okay. Let's see, next question is going back again to COVID. How long would a student have to sit out if they test positive?
Well, definitely for the 14 days, but also UIL has also put in with the medical board that any athlete that tests positive, even if he's not showing symptoms after 3 or 4 days, cannot return back to play without a doctor's note. They must be cleared through their doctor.
Okay. And then on that same line, I mean, we're talking about positive tests. What if they were just exposed to a student that was positive?
So that would just depend if they were exposed. So in athletics, we have what we call the 6 foot, 15-minute rule kind of thing. If we were around someone for at least within 6 feet for 15 minutes or more, then they could be considered exposed. If they're wearing a mask at all times during that time, then they wouldn't be. If the mask comes down, then that time counts. And so if a student, depends if they're just showing symptoms or if they're not showing any symptoms at all, it could be 7 days to 14 days. That's where Mr. Champagne and our district nurse step in and kind of navigate the kid and the family through that.
All right. And speaking again on the same wave of thought here, if student athlete misses due to COVID, will there be repercussions?
Absolutely not. We understand that we're in some challenging times right now, and obviously if we have to go into that COVID protocol, it's just one of those situations. And so as soon as the kid goes through the protocol, whether there's 7 days to 14, however it is, once they're able to get back on campus and get back with us, then we'll just catch them up with whatever it was that they missed. But as far as repercussions or punishments or anything like that, absolutely not.
All right. Coach Hub, I know I heard you before we started the show. Will there be any physical encouragement for athletes? I know it's difficult because you're an emotional guy.
No doubt. I love to love on those kids, and especially when they're out there making plays. So there probably will be a chest bump or two, but by and large, we're going to do a good job of not contacting those kids, and obviously if you go around our facilities, you will see the hand sanitizer all around, and so we're encouraging those student athletes at all times to use the hand sanitizer, as well as our athletic staff, and so that is really vital for us. We understand the times that we're in, and we're going to do a good job with that.
All right. And speaking of, locker rooms, bathrooms, I know there's a couple questions about, will my athlete be able to use the restroom? Will my athlete have access to his or her locker? And then is there a specific entrance for athletes to enter the school for strength and conditioning skills and or practices?
So I'll speak on the girls' side, Joe, and then I'll let you speak to the guys' side. So prior to returning to school, every program, not just the in-season sports, but every program had to turn in a safety plan. And that is how you're going to enter your locker rooms, how you're going to exit your locker rooms, the rotation for the usage of the bathroom and the showers, because they are all open now. We definitely, they are spaced out in between and marked off for the areas that aren't, because you can't use every sink. We have every other sink marked off, different bathroom situations, depending on the locker room. But they are all marked off. There's a system of rotation, depending on what program you're with, be it offensive side goes in first, or the defense, or the infielders or the outfielders. But there's a rotation, and every program has a plan for safety, as well as entry and exit, and restroom and showers, as well as the weight room facilities on how they're going to enter and exit, as well as be able to compete for that day or be in the weight room on that particular day. So everyone has that plan. They also took a video. And so there was a video that was sent to all the kids so that they would see what it looked like. Because when they came back for the first time, it was definitely going to look different. There were markings all over the floor, tape on the floor. And so I think our coaches did a really good job in creating their plan, as well as creating their videos, so that when the student athlete came back on the first day, they had an idea of what it was going to look like and what the expectation was.
All right. And so you're speaking of that plan. Where, parents have follow-up questions. Where can they find that plan?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So by UIL, we need UIL. One of the things they required is that we had the risk mitigation return to play plan. So we have what we think is a very thorough plan, and you can find that on the athletic webpage, as well as the district webpage.
Okay. And then talking about, we'll go into transportation real quick. So transportation-wise, if my athlete does partake in remote learning, will transportation to practices be provided by ECHS, as well as will transportation be provided for games and competitions? And will my student be required to wear a mask on the bus and transportation? That's a three-parter.
Let's start
He's
with
got it
part
right.
one.
He's got to use a bus real soon, so we'll let him go first.
So let me talk about the my athlete partakes in remote learning. As Miss Arriola talked about earlier, we are working on a plan where hopefully we'll have 3 to 4 buses that'll be located in various places around the district where that we can provide transportation, hopefully for those families who have some issues with getting their student athlete to East Central High School. So that's something that we're working on right now.
As far as transportation for a bus, so this typically we require all kids to ride a bus to a competition. But if we have remote learners, then they are required to come to school, ride the bus. But if there is a situation where a parent feels it would be in their best interest to drive their child to Madison, Roosevelt, wherever we're competing, we're also okay with that. We'll just get a note relinquishing the responsibilities from the district and that the parent would like to drive their kid and take them home. We also are allowing kids to drive home with their parents after games if they would like. Every program has a sign-out sheet. For volleyball, I know right now there's a QR code, so that's kind of touchless where parents can sign their kids out. And again, it's parents, or if it's a sibling or someone like that, we have a conversation with that parent that day to make sure, Miss Jones, it's okay that Susie goes home with your son today, Johnny. I'm just confirming that. If they confirm that, then we'll let that happen. But definitely, they're only going home with family members within their household.
And again, they'll be wearing the masks on the
Always
on the bus. All right.
And
so
that's like, because the transportation, just to kind of cover that in case right now, transportation, we've got to watch every day to see where the levels are and where we're at. And we've been at moderate, I believe, for pretty consistent now. And so right now, what the policy reads is that kids can sit side by side. They must wear their mask. We're using every other row, and then every other window also needs to be open. So we have that circulation through the bus. All
right. Next question, we're going to start diving into attendance and tickets and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So, first, I think it's just an overall question. As games begin to take place on campus, will there be any limitations on seating?
So let's start with unfortunately, yes, there's going to have to be limitations. Even though everyone's at 50% capacity, we also have to first and foremost follow the six foot rule, the social distancing rule. So as much as we'd love to have everybody in with the 6 foot rule and social distancing, it doesn't really allow us to continue to add more seats to what our numbers are right now. And I don't foresee the governor or the CDC or UIL, letting up on that particular policy. I think we've done a good job in counting as many seats and getting as many seats as we can out of the stadium. So we did our best. And so what we're doing is for volleyball, for indoor sports, right now we say volleyball, every volleyball player gets 4 seats. They're guaranteed 4 seats for that particular family. And then they will be asked that we will clear the gym after each game. So after the freshman game, and if there's a freshman A-team game only on that night, that game is also played in the game gym. So it's freshman, JV, varsity. If it's a freshman A and B game, that game is played in gym 2. And because of the seating capacity in gym 2, at first we were not going to have any spectators at all because we just couldn't. It was just too tight, and we were at a number of about 12 or 13. Once we were able to go where we could sit in pods of 4, we were able to stretch that out where each volleyball player can have 2 tickets. So if they're in gym 2 on a night that there's an A-B game, the freshman teams are allowed 2 tickets, guaranteed 2 seats for every parent for their particular game. After the A-team game, we'll clear the gym out, and then the B-team parents will be coming in at that time. And so we're providing tickets at every game. For football, so let's just Thursday nights, we don't foresee a problem with sub-varsity. So because we're going to open both sides, the visitor side and the home side. Typically in the past, we've just used the home side, but we're going to open both sides up. So there should not be any issue with the Thursday night game. Everyone is required to sit in pods of 4. And we went around and put almost like 1,500 dots all over the stadium. And so you're required to sit on a dot, and there'll be signage all over to let you know where you can sit for Thursday night games, for sub-varsity games. Friday night games, we have 3 home football games. And with that, we still have a reserve seating section, and then we have general admission. And so tomorrow morning, we will have our lottery for our reserve season ticket holders. We will make a phone call, and if you're one of the lucky ones that got picked in the lotto, you'll have 2 days to come in and pay for your tickets and pick your seats, and then we'll move on. The rest, the general admission after that, how that's going to work is that every participant on Friday night, so all varsity football players, Friday night varsity football players, cheer, dance, band, ROTC, anybody that participates in a Friday night football game, every one of those kids is guaranteed 4 seats, 4 tickets. And so on Monday and Tuesday, we're moving towards an online ticket system. So on Monday and Tuesday, all of those participants and their families will have the opportunity to buy their tickets first. So after Tuesday, those tickets will go on sale to the public. So if Joe's starting quarterback, his mom and dad forgot to buy their tickets because they were out of town or busy, but they went on Wednesday morning and went to buy tickets, and we were already sold out. I mean, when we hit capacity, we hit capacity. We can't sell any extra tickets. So we're doing our part to take care of all of our participants, from football players, again, cheer, dance, band, all of them, where they have 2 days, where most districts are only doing that for 24 hours. We're doing it for 48 hours so that our participants and their families have an opportunity to buy their tickets for that particular game.
All right, so we do realize that was a lot of information thrown at them. So we'll try to break it down a little bit more into little parts here. Talking about let's talk about sub-varsity football games. I know you mentioned it, but just to reiterate, how will ticketing work for the sub-varsity football games?
So right now that'll be walk-up tickets for sub-varsity. We're hopefully maybe by week 2 or 3 we'll move into online tickets also. But right now we'll be walk-up, and again, we don't foresee an issue with capacity there. So everyone it will be allowed 4 tickets.
Okay,
and then we're hoping not to have to clear out the football in the stadium between games also.
Okay, where will they need to park during sub-varsity football games?
Yeah, so that's going to be a little bit different. So the Gym 2/home parking lot that we usually have our visitors, the main parking lot where everyone parks, that is now a bus turnaround right now. And so we are not using, it's bus turnaround as well as faculty staff parking. So we need to all get that out of our minds. It's no longer a athletic parking lot, not even for Gym 2 right now. If we were to have a game, that would be across the street at the tennis courts. So right now, all parking for football is taking place back in the baseball parking lot. Okay, so baseball parking lot, and then the overflow for that will be in front of South Campus, and there at South Campus if we hit capacity with parking out at the baseball parking lot.
Okay. And again, just clarifying, do senior football players get the first shot for varsity game tickets?
I would say it's all football players. It's not so. Yes, it is for seniors, but all 65, 70, however many Joe's going to carry, they will all have the first option.
Okay. And again, how many tickets do football players get for the games?
They'll be allowed 4 tickets.
Okay. Do students get the first priority for tickets to the home football games?
So that's where. Unfortunately, we did with the way the stadium is seated now in pods of 4, we did save one of those sections, which has traditionally been our senior section, is going to be our student section. There's about 122 seats in that section. And so on Monday and Tuesday, along with the participants getting their codes for them to be able to buy tickets, our seniors will first be able to buy tickets for that particular section on Monday and Tuesday. Once that section is sold out, then when we open them to the public, then students will be able to buy tickets. It will be in the general admission though.
Okay. And then again, I know he's talked about fours here. How many people will be able to sit next to each other at the football games?
Yeah, so it will be 4 people, per section as far as on the stickers that we have inside the stadium. And of course, they'll be distanced 6 feet apart. So again, that's 4.
There's the sticker.
There's the sticker. Yeah, there's the sticker. There's about 1,500 of them down in the stadium. And so you'll see there's going to be pods of 4, 4 stickers together. You have to sit on a sticker, and then it's 6 feet apart. And then our administration will be helping us to kind of, monitor that. And we may be asking people to please make sure you're sitting on a sticker. We had to do that on Saturday. And I do say that everyone was very gracious and moved to a sticker. Things went really smoothly here on Saturday. Excellent.
Yeah. And I mean, saw your staff out there putting all the stickers down. And like you said, 1,500 of them. I mean, that was a good back workout for that day, I'm assuming.
That's when you're glad you're the supervisor, right?
I hear you. All right. So concessions, will concessions be sold at the games?
Yes, we will have concessions at the game. Now, they will all be pre-packaged and everything. So when people go to buy, then they'll have those items ready to go. So again, we'll be socially distanced at the concession stand as well. So just be prepared to stand apart, as if you're at HEB or somewhere like that.
And the menu will be just a little more limited to what we can do with the prepackaged and how we're going to sell those. So, we may not have sausage on stick this year, unfortunately.
All right. Hey, I mean, they're going to have popcorn and all the other stuff, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then, they'll do that. All right. So I'm going to look at the comments real quick, for some of the questions. And I know, I'm going to start with the top, but I know we kind of already answered this. But Blanca asked how we're going to be able to buy tickets for the games in advance. Did you want to show the season ticket lottery information? I know you sent that to me.
Yeah, if you want to show that, we can show that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me
I'll just
bring
kind
that
of
up.
review that too while you're looking for that, Brandon. So just again, yes. So in advance, if we're talking sub-varsity, those tickets will go on sale probably on Monday of that week. So you can buy them, we'll be able to buy those. Hopefully, well, let me tell you this. You can walk into our office at any time to purchase a ticket in our office for sub-varsity tickets all the way up into game time. And then we'll be selling walk-up tickets at sub-varsity games. We are working towards in the next week or two to be able to also then offer the online tickets for sub-varsity once we get that up and running. When it comes to varsity, again, Monday, Tuesday will be all participants in a Friday night football game. Okay, so if your son plays freshman football or JV football, they are not considered in the groups of 4 tickets that a football player would get to purchase for a Friday night game. Just the varsity football players, cheer, dance, band. And so that's a Monday, Tuesday, advanced ticket sales for them. And then Wednesday, all tickets open up to the public.
Okay. And I have the season ticket lottery info on the screen. Okay. If you just want to go over that. These are for the season tickets, though.
Right. So these are for the season tickets. Because of the social distancing, we're having to go to a lottery system, as most districts had to do. And so tomorrow morning, this guy right here will be pulling the lottery for us. And so we'll have 2 groups. We'll have the black group and the gold group, which is group 1. So tomorrow morning, 25 lucky families will get the phone call that they'll be able to come in on Wednesday and Thursday and pay for their tickets and choose their tickets. Those will all be printed. So it'll take a couple weeks. They'll come in and then we'll send them to you. We'll be able to email those tickets to you also. The second group of 25 that gets pulled out of that will be the gold group. And so the gold group will be coming in on Thursday and Friday. So the first group will be coming on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and then that's from 8:30 to 5. And the gold group will be coming Thursday and Friday from 8:30 to 5. And again, on that day, you're coming in to pay for your tickets as well as then choose your tickets. And if we have tickets left over or spots left over after Friday, then we already have a waiting list for those, and we'll start to sell those to everyone that's on that waiting list if we have any left. All season ticket holders are allowed to buy up to 4 tickets.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going back a little bit, and I mean, again, when can the community start going to the football games? Because there's one this week, correct?
Yes, absolutely. It will be this week. You know, we're scrimmaging Brennan High School on Thursday evening. And so we'll actually start accepting spectators and guests on this Thursday.
All right. And then stadium capacity, I think you already touched on that, Suzette, but what will the stadium capacity be? Brenda logged in late here.
Yeah. Okay. So we're looking right at about between 1,400 and 1,500.
Okay. Jessica asked, how can our child athletic get a school mask if they have not received one yet? I'm assuming talking about the
right. So if they're in an athletic period, they have to be in an athletic period right now in order to get one. If they have, all they have got to do is ask their coach, we do have some coaches that have not picked theirs up yet because they just had come in on Friday, and so all they got to do is ask their coach and during athletic period.
Okay. Tina brings up the question, and I think a bigger question is, first, is there homecoming? And second, will we be able to decorate the lockers for homecoming?
Yeah, I guess I'll tackle this one. Miss Tina, it's a great question. We're going to do our best to allow that. What it looks like right now, I really cannot say. Not real sure how many parents we will allow inside the locker room, but we'll work something out so that you guys can decorate. I know you have a senior, and I know some of the senior moms have been asking about this, and it's a great tradition. We really enjoy it, and obviously it's a little bit different this year, but we will allow something to happen and let you guys know as we move a little bit closer to that homecoming game. So
that homecoming game is November 20th against Smithson Valley. And as Coach said, it's tradition, and we want things to try to be as normal as they can be. And so we'll figure out a way to make sure that still happens for our athletes and for our parents. And as far as what the homecoming will look like, that our student council is in charge of that. But the plan, from what I kind of heard, sounds really, they're doing everything they can to make it as real as possible, because we can't have ceremonies down on the field like we traditionally have. Our senior nights, our homecoming will all kind of be virtual. We'll be using the Jumbotron quite a bit to show pictures or video. And my understanding is maybe they're going to try their best to film what homecoming would look like, maybe on a Saturday afternoon when the stadium's empty, and kind of go through the whole walk and announcements so that those kids still have that opportunity to do that. And then we'll be able to show that on the 20th. Maybe that'll be part of our halftime or pregame presentation. But we're going to do everything we can to try to make that look as traditional as possible.
Great. Miss Tina has another question. She said, for the football away games, are they allowed to attend?
Yeah. So what we, as a district, we all had to get because all of our stadiums are at different capacities, different sizes, have different policies. But the commitment that we've made to our new district and District 27 6A is going to be that each player on the team has a guaranteed ticket limit, should I say. For most, it's 4 tickets. There may be 1 or 2 school districts that it might be 3. And so every week, so we play Roosevelt next week, right? And so on Monday or probably Sunday night. They're going to send me a code tomorrow, which I'll give to Joe, and then he will send that out. And so all the football parents will have that opportunity on Monday. So for Northeast, they're only going to give you 24 hours to purchase that ticket ahead of time, and then they open them to the public. But they will vary from 3 to 4 tickets per player that are guaranteed at each stadium.
All right. Ruby asked, will the players be able to purchase tickets in athletics?
So as far as in the athletic period, Miss Ruby, I would say they won't be allowed to. However, if they're at school earlier, they can come to the athletic office, obviously, and be able to purchase those tickets and everything. We'll also be selling them throughout the day, in the athletic office, and so on Mondays and Tuesdays. So there should be ample amount of opportunity for them to purchase the tickets.
All right.
Can I jump in on something real quick, just so that most parents, traditionally, we've always had what we call an athletic pass here at ECISD. So our middle school and our high school have passes that they're an athlete that would get them into another game at no cost. Unfortunately, this year there are not going to be any athletic passes because we have to keep account of the attendance. And so for this year, hopefully just this year, all athletes, whoever is going to enter a game, is going to have to purchase a ticket. So if you are a family that typically knows, I have a son that's in basketball or something and thinks that they have a athletic pass, this year there will not be athletic passes. So we will have to purchase tickets for even your student athletes that are not in football or volleyball right now.
Heather asked, what time on Tuesday do the additional tickets go on sale online?
Online for varsity football. So Monday, Tuesday will be for participants in that game. Wednesday, they will go on sale at 8 a.m. to the public.
All right. And April asked, where do we get tickets for Thursday's games?
So that'll be a walk-up. They can walk up to the gate and purchase tickets there. I don't foresee us having any issues on a Thursday with a sellout because we're going to open both sides.
So Leah has a middle school question. She asked, will middle school football away games allow at least 2 attendees per athlete as long as we allow 6-foot distance and wear masks? Normally away attendance for middle school games is historically very low in attendance.
So I don't know if the coordinators yet have shared this with the athletes, but the district that we're the STAC conference that we're in for middle school, because middle school gyms are traditionally very small, and some of the older gyms in Judson School District, the seating capacity was very, very low. And so what we've decided is that we would always take care of our home fans. And so for our home games, it will only be home fans allowed. So there will be no visitors allowed at a away game. So we will not be able to attend a Heritage or Legacy football game if we're over at Judson Middle School. Only home fans.
Okay, so only home fans at the middle school level. So, the Heritage football goes and plays away. They're only allowed for the home.
Right.
Correct?
No, right. Our parents would not be allowed to attend.
Okay. Let's see. Rosie asked, where can you do the membership? I wonder if she means the season tickets.
I'm hoping she means the Booster Club membership because we need some Booster Club people. She can call the athletic office here, and we can get her all hooked up to be a Booster Club member or with any other membership that she needs.
All right. Jasmine has a question. Can athletes share their tickets if they do not need all 4 tickets?
Okay, my wife's not supposed to be asking questions in this deal.
I saw the last name and I didn't want to say anything. But.
Well, she needs 10 of them, so she's going to need to find somewhere to go. Mm-hmm.
No, but that is a good question. We'll know, if student athletes haven't used all of their tickets, and so then we'll just continue to go down the line. As far as that's concerned, if you want to speak a little bit.
Yeah. So Joe doesn't want to get in trouble. He's asking me to speak on that. So what we're going to be able to do is we're going to put our athlete's ID number into the system. So it's only going to be allowed to buy 4 tickets. And so so that we can see that, and we can see if we allowed, let's just say we allowed 300 tickets for all of our participants on a Friday night, and we still have 200 or 100 left. We didn't sell, not everybody took advantage of their 4 tickets. We will see what we can do, how that particular, because it's attached to an ID number. That's the tricky part in trying to manage this. We'll see about, how can we release those tickets to another student? And I'm glad you asked that question there, Ms. Hubbard. So that's a question we can ask our ticketing people on how we can set that up.
Yeah. All right. Alicia asked, can athletes use their athletic pass to enter games for free?
Unfortunately, we won't be having athletic passes this year. And so our student athletes will have to purchase a ticket to whatever contest that they go to.
Can I read just to make sure that we're clear on something there? Because, right now when the school bell rings, students have to leave. They need to go home. They either get picked up or they ride the bus. Traditionally, kids would hang around campus, right, for 2 or 3 hours waiting for a football game to start or the varsity volleyball game, basketball game. And this year, that's going to look a little bit different. Every student is being asked to leave campus. We've got to make sure that we clear the campus off. And so at that point, that would mean the student would have to find his way back here have a ride to get back here, because all students will have to leave campus.
Pamela has a great question regarding senior citizen. How will your senior citizen card holders be handled?
Well, right now, if you are a season or a senior citizen card holder or gold card holder here at East Central, that we will be accepting those cards, and throughout our district, they will also accept those.
Okay, Ruby, I think needs some clarity here. How do we know if we made the lottery? Did we have to be a previous ticket holder?
Yes, you had to be a previous ticket holder, and so that lottery will take place tomorrow. If you're on the waiting list and there are additional tickets, then you will be given a call. But right now, we're taking care of the return ticket season ticket holders. And again, they're all their names are going in a hat in a lottery tomorrow morning, bright and early. And Coach Hubbard will pick out the numbers that are attached to those names. It'll kind of be like the NBA lottery. We're gonna have ping pong balls going on, and he's gonna pull that out.
And yes,
we might. Can we Facebook Live that tomorrow morning?
Maybe. I don't know. It depends on what time, because we also got the Texas A&M San Antonio press conference. Arriola, if season ticket holders choose 2 instead of 4, if selected by the lottery system, does that mean the remaining tickets will be empty in that 4-seat pod?
No, ma'am. Because everyone is required to wear a mask, we can put 4 people together. So it may be for some people. I know that there are a lot of families that are used to sitting next to one another, and so if they're in the lottery, and they might want to come in together if they got the lucky phone call.
Okay. Let's see. Will East Central people be able to purchase a visitor side ticket? Some of us are just fans without a student playing. This was an issue at another district.
Yeah, so we have an overflow section that's also on the visitor side. And so we will be able to sell those tickets. If we sell out of the home side, our overflow section will also be sold. We'll be able to sell. And, we will have walk-ups also. And so if someone were to walk up and we were sold out from both sides, if someone's willing to want to sit on that side, we're not going to turn anybody away if we have the seating capacity available.
Okay. Trying to see Christina's question here. Senior students can buy tickets on Tuesdays and Mondays and Tuesdays online before it goes out to public.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I'm not sure how this one applies, but how does an ECHS senior get to go to homecoming? I'm thinking about, is it the actual event or the game?
So student council handles the homecoming event. So the senior, if they have any questions about homecoming and the procedures for that, I would encourage them to talk to Mr. Alvarado. They do a really good job, our student council does, with homecoming. And so I would, again, encourage that student to go talk to Mr. Alvarado. As far as the homecoming game, those will be tickets that are sold in the same procedure as we have with the other two.
And again, I know we mentioned this before, but for GV and freshman away games, well, actually, I don't know. For JV and freshman away games, will it work like ours? Walk up to buy, or can we go early and then wait to their athletic office? And I think, is this the same thing that we were talking about earlier, that middle school parents aren't going to be able to go?
So that's a tricky question, but I'm gonna try to make this nice and short. Every week, like I said, every school has a different policy. So Coach Hubbard's going to have a list of what's going to happen at Smithson Valley, or what's going to happen at Judson ISD or Comel. And so he will have to communicate that, and they do a very good job of sharing their information through all of our social media platforms. Football really uses the VNN site, as well as the Sports U app, and the Classroom, of course, the Google Classroom. And so all of the, I guess, policies and procedures for that particular stadium of the upcoming week, they will post those for parents to be able to see. A lot of school districts have gone to strictly online, no walk-ups, so everything would have to be online, and we'll get that posted this week.
Okay, Michelle, I'll read it, but I'll tell you to go back to the beginning of the video. I came into the meeting late. Could you please explain how tickets are going to be handled for season ticket holders, and when do those tickets go on sale? I'm sorry, we addressed all that earlier. So, maybe go back a little bit into the video, and this video stays out there forever. All you need to do is go back to our Facebook and our YouTube links, and you can watch this video at any time. But Suzette, I don't know if there's anything you want to add on to that.
Just again, if you were a season ticket holder from last year, those names are all going in a lottery tomorrow morning, and we'll start to pick. We're going to pick 50 lucky balls, ping pong balls, and then those people will get a call. If you were not on the season ticket list last year, we have a waiting list already for those if there's any extra seats left. But please call the athletic office in the morning.
And again, what time does the athletic department open to sell tickets to students?
Students won't be, tickets don't start going on sale till 8:30. We open at 7:30, but we won't start selling tickets till 8:30.
Okay. And that includes this Thursday? This Thursday scrimmage?
This Thursday, it's open. The scrimmage is free. And so scrimmage is free, and we welcome all EC community to come out and support the Hornets.
All right. So,
sit on a dot, though. Sit on your dot.
All right. And Margaret just has a comment. So much to think about. Thank you for all the hard work you have done to get this situated. Go Hornets.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Margaret.
Go Hornets.
So, we've almost done an hour here. I'll wait for maybe a couple more questions, but Suzette and Coach, anything else that you would like to add that maybe we haven't mentioned yet, or just for clarity, maybe you want to, reiterate?
Yeah. So one thing I'd like to address is after games, our parents are so used to having the opportunity to congregate outside the fence area near the scoreboard end where the field house is and all that stuff. And unfortunately, this year we'll be clearing out the stadium pretty quickly. And so the boys will exit the field and go directly inside the field house. So there won't be any of that going on after games. And obviously we only have 3 home games, but that'll be the protocol this year.
And Coach, look at who just asked the question right when you started speaking.
Uh-oh.
Y'all are on the same wavelength.
Holy cow.
So you want to know, be able to congratulate their athlete after the football game, or we have to immediately exit the stadium. So
okay, well, I think I hope I just answered that and hit on that question. and everything. I'll know for sure when I get home if I did or I didn't.
Yeah. Man, the Hubbard family, y'all are in tune. I like it.
So just that tradition of us hanging around, unfortunately, is going to have to look a little bit different. The our PA announcer and our wonderful game time, host, Mr. Brandon Oliver, will be making several announcements that immediately following the game that we will have to exit the stadium and clear out as quickly as possible. The band will, of course, play their traditional, the Armada and the dance team will come down. And so they'll be able to kind of do that at a social distance, and then the football players will take off to the locker room. And then again, as he stated, we will not be able to hang around for the pictures and to congratulate them, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's all the questions I see right here in the chat. And Suzette and Coach Hubbard, thank you very much for your time today. I'm sure it cleared up a lot of questions, especially about attendance and tickets.
Yeah.
So, oh, look at that. And they're masking up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Come on out. Yep. Support your Hornets, but make sure you mask up and stay 6 feet apart. Do your part. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching this broadcast. Again, it lives forever here on the Facebook page and on the YouTube page. We're not going to delete it or anything. You can always go back and watch it and share it as well. And again, Suzette and Coach Hubbard, thank you very much. And everybody at home will.
And Mr. Oliver, if I could I just want to thank Mr. Toscano and our school board. There are a lot of school districts that are still at home and they're not even practicing yet. Hence one of our games with South San. And so I just want to thank Mr. Toscano and the school board for everything they're doing to make sure that we have this opportunity. And so for the fans and for our players, let's just make sure and do our part. Let's stay safe. Let's mask up, do everything that's required from us, because at the end of the day, these kids have put in a lot of hard work. And the last thing we want is for us to end up with a case somewhere on our campus or within our field house and us have to shut down. Because that has happened throughout the state. And so let's take advantage of the opportunity that Mr. Toscano and the school board has given us to be able to play, and let's stay safe.
All right. All right. And everybody else, we'll see you.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
Bye-bye.